The desert wind howled outside as the town of Dust Creek settled into its usual evening rhythm. Lamps flickered along the wooden boardwalk, horses whinnied from the hitching posts, and the steady thump of boots echoed toward the Red Lantern Saloon, the busiest and most dangerous watering hole in the county. Inside, smoke from cigars curled thick in the air, the scent of whiskey and sweat mixing with the faint twang of a piano in the corner. It was a place where fortunes were won and lost in a single card draw, where cowboys, gamblers, outlaws, and drifters all came to test their luck, or drown their regrets. At the far end of the room, 4 people gathered around a round oak table scarred from years of spilled liquor and broken bottles. They weren't here for poker, though cards were involved. They were here for a game of mystery, a new kind of entertainment sweeping through the saloons, called Whodunit? Each player held a secret card. One revealed the murderer, another the weapon, another the location, and the rest were innocents trying to solve the puzzle. But in Dust Creek, nothing stayed just a game for long. Rosa in red. Rosa leaned back in her chair, the lamplight catching the crimson silk of her dress. Her dark curls fell around her shoulders, and in her gloved hand, she held a small golden pistol. It wasn't real, just a toy piece from the game, but the way her green eyes glinted made it seem more dangerous than any Colt revolver. She smiled, slow and sly, her red lips curving as she studied the others. Rosa wasn't a woman people trusted easily. Rumors said she had once been the mistress of a Texas cattle baron, others whispered she had run from a murder charge down in San Antonio. Nobody knew the full truth, and she never corrected the stories. She liked mystery, it gave her power. Across from her sat John Callahan, broad-shouldered in his worn leather vest, a Stetson tilted low over his weathered face. Once a lawman in Arizona, now a drifter, John had a way of narrowing his eyes that made folks confess without him saying a word. He wasn't playing this game for fun. He was watching. Always watching. The townsfolk said John had chased a bandit across 3 states before the outlaw vanished in Dust Creek. Some believed John gave up the badge after failing that hunt. Others suspected the outlaw never really disappeared, that maybe John had caught him, only the lawman had made his own kind of justice. Maria with the feather fan. Next to Rosa sat Maria Delgado, a striking woman with jet black hair tied up in pearl pins, her delicate feather fan fluttering like the wings of a nervous bird. She was the daughter of a wealthy railroad magnate from New Orleans, but she had fled society life, claiming she wanted freedom in the West. Yet the way she glanced around the saloon, her shoulders tense beneath her lace shawl, told another story. Maria wasn't here just to play games, she was hiding. From whom, no one quite knew. Tom the quiet stranger. The fourth at the table was Tom Bennett, a lanky man with pale eyes that missed nothing. He rarely spoke, and when he did, his voice was calm and low, like distant thunder. No one in town knew where he came from. He rode in 3 weeks ago, rented a small room above the blacksmith's shop, and kept mostly to himself. But Rosa had noticed something about Tom. He listened more than he spoke, and when he studied his cards, his fingers tapped in rhythm, like a man marking time. She suspected there was a story behind that silence, one darker than he let on. The game begins. Rosa set her toy pistol down on the table and smirked. I say the murder weapon was the rope, she declared, her voice rich and teasing. And it happened in the cellar. She locked eyes with John. He shifted in his seat, tugging at the brim of his hat. Convenient guess, John drawled. Almost like you know more than you should. Maria's fan snapped shut with a sharp click. Wait, she interrupted, her eyes wide. Rosa, you never said where you were when the killing happened. The music from the piano faltered as if the room itself held its breath. Rosa's confident smile flickered. Slowly, she placed her card face up on the table. It read, the saloon. The scene of the crime. I didn't do it, Rosa hissed, her voice sharp now. Someone switched my card. Tom's pale eyes gleamed. He leaned forward, speaking for the first time in a long while. Funny thing about cards, he said softly. They got a way of showing the truth you don't want seen. The table grew tense, the game no longer playful. Whispers began to stir in the saloon. A few cowboys abandoned their whiskey to watch. For in Dust Creek, a card game could turn into life and death. When the game becomes real. The accusations flew, faster now. The accusations flew, faster now. Each player tried to prove their innocence, their words tangled with secrets from their pasts. The more they spoke, the more it felt like this wasn't just about who done it. It was about what each of them had done in the real world. John leaned forward, his jaw tight. Cards don't lie, Rosa. And neither do faces. You've been hiding something since you rode into this town. Rosa's eyes blazed. If anyone's hiding something, it's you, lawman. You've got blood on your hands, and you know it. Maria gasped, her fan trembling. Tom's eyes never left the cards, but Rosa saw the corner of his mouth twitch, as though he knew something the rest did not. And then, like thunder cracking the night, Maria shouted. This isn't a game anymore, this is about the murder in Dust Creek, isn't it? The room went still. Every head turned toward their table. Because just last month, a rancher named Eli Turner had been found dead outside the very saloon they sat in. Strangled by a rope. The killer had never been caught. Now, the cards seemed less like a game and more like a confession. The deeper mystery, and the story continues.